Welcome to the Shrewdness. We are so excited about this baseball-focused endeavor. As teased in prior episodes, we are doing 15 to 20-minute primers for each MLB team to prepare you for this 2025 season, to help you with your fantasy baseball drafts and future bets, or simply to improve your knowledge as the season begins. From the projected starters to the prospects, we will touch it all and give our shrewd takes on the key to their success. So sit back, take some notes, and enjoy the show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Shrewdness. We're excited to have you here for another edition of our baseball preview. We're hitting all the teams. It's been a lot of fun so far. If you haven't had a chance to listen to who we've done so far, check out Spotify or check out YouTube. So they're all posted on there. And it's a good time. And if you're getting ready for a fantasy draft or you're just super baseball nerd like we are, then you'll soak it up. But tonight, we are going to dive into the AL Central and look at the Cleveland Guardians. And it's going to be led by the one, the only Prime Nomad Vagabond.
Where's our applause button, crew? Hit the applause button.
Yeah, woo. Thank you.
Heading to
Thanks for the great introduction.
The man of 1,000 nicknames.
That's right.
The last
One for
time
every year of my life.
Cleveland did well was in a movie. What are they going to do this year?
Right?
Well, yeah, let's talk about the Cleveland Guardians. You probably know they won first place in the AL Central last year. Barely kind of squeaked through the next round, beating out Detroit in, I think, 5 games. And then ultimately lost to the Yanks in the ALCS. So, second overall finish in the AL last year. They won 92 games. I don't think they're going to win 92 games this year.
That's a teaser.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Super teaser.
They just jump right into it. They're going to suck.
They're going to be not as good. So Fangraphs actually has the 2025 Cleveland Guardians at 77 wins. Steep drop off from 92 last year. Pacoda has them at 79.8. And then the over-under from Vegas is 82.5. So they're all kind of hovering around a 500 season for the Guardians.
Okay. It's a big drop off.
I can see. I'm not sure yet if I want to lean over or under that number, but I can tell you they're not going to win 92 games again. They have lost more than they've added, in my opinion.
Interesting.
So let's dive into it. First of all, I did not check. I should have checked 2024 payroll. Their 2025 payroll is $100 million, which is not very high on the ranks. I can tell you that.
That's super low.
Very low. And you'll see as we go through why.
It's almost exactly the same. Last year was $104 million.
That's a little surprising that you can win that many games with $104 million payroll compared to some of the other big spenders around the league.
Unless you're the Kansas City Royals.
Right.
And then,
so
like
relatively,
Oakland, for years has had to work with that model with a GM that won't spend any money. And there's a few of those teams out there. And then there's the Dodgers. But alas, no other team is the Dodgers. Even the Yankees are like, God, why are we getting beat up by the Dodgers?
Wow, big spenders.
Yeah, right. When the Yankees are crying foul, you know you're spending a lot of money.
Yeah, you know you've outspent them by significant amounts.
We call it $1 billion.
Let's wow, yeah, I think we're on our way close to that here in another 10, 15 years. Let's dive into their lineup, or their projected lineup. They plan on leading off with Stephen Kwan, who's been around a bit. He's age 27, so he's kind of entering the prime of his career. Had a 4 last year for WAR, so one of the top contributors last year for the Guardians.
I mean, 368 OBP?
Yeah. This dude
batted
hits
292.
Yep.
Hit on base at 368. 793 out of your leadoff hitter for OPS is not bad. 14 homers.
No.
the
good.
best part of that, maybe, is that he only played 122 games. So
Jeez.
he could easily get to 20 home runs and hit, close to 300.
Out of your leadoff guy, that would be phenomenal.
Yeah. So definitely a bright spot out of the leadoff spot.
I can't remember he had an injury last year. I just don't remember what it is. Let me see here.
If only there was a website that had the injuries all on it.
I know, it really would be helpful.
Like, super.
Oh, here we go. He had a hamstring issue. So limited to 122 games last season, missing time early with a hammy, and then a sore back.
So he ended up being an all-star and a Gold Glover last year.
Oh, Gold Glove too, huh?
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. That was a surprise to me too. I did know he was an all-star. Second for the Guardians, at least penciled in right now, Kyle Manzardo, who's a young guy, 24. Hit a massive 234 last year, 282 on base, which Lewis would not approve of.
That's your two guy? Is a 282 OBP? What?
Well, that's the way they penciled it in right now anyway.
All right, but on this guy...
He was a rookie last year and only played 53 games.
Yes.
Right.
So the thing is, Lewis would like this guy if he lives up to his track record in the minors. So he always had double-digit walk rates, sub 20% strikeout rates, which is really good. I mean, when I was talking about some of those guys on the Rockies, when you guys listened to that one, they had the one dude was like 35% strikeout, Ezekiel Tovar.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you have 35%, that dude's an all-star Gold Glove too.
Right.
Vice, a dude who was always under 20 in the minors and a walk rate at 10 plus. This guy should be good. Again, 24. And in my book, I would get benefit of the doubt to these young dudes to figure it out.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was an uninspiring first bit last season.
Yeah, 50 games. You give him a break. You're right. If he's got a good minor league track record, then
yes.
Right.
So we'll see what's up. And he's a fly ball hitter that can hit it out. So
it sounds like he's the right style of hitter to be a prototypical number 2.
Yeah.
Right. So he may be just fine. He had really limited data set from last year. So that's who they've got penciled in right now. I'm sure it'll change if he struggles like any other rookie.
He should get to see a lot of pitches with the guy in behind him.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
well, the thing is also one more thing on this for fantasy purposes, just as we go through, he's going to be a DH only. So Manzardo's probably undraftable in most leagues. You can't even put him in any other positions, and you can put anybody at utility. So I would probably steer towards that. But if he gets off to a hot start and you don't have anyone in that util DH spot, keep an eyeball and see how he does early on in the season.
Yeah. That's a good point. There's probably other options that are way safer to draft for sure.
Fantasy,
and then it's just going to be watching the standings, watching the stats, seeing how he starts out. Number 3 in the lineup is probably a name that most people would recognize. Jose Ramirez.
Yeah.
32, so he's starting to creep up in age a little bit. Highest paid player on the Indians and the Guardians. $19 million.
Which is just a steal for what he's doing. Is a steal. Like, he's a $40 million a year player getting paid for 19 for Cleveland.
Yeah.
And he's under contract for 3 more years.
Wow.
And I think it creeps up $2 million each year.
Dang,
so 21, 23, 25 million on his final year in 2028.
For a 40-40 player, that is insane.
Right.
That's insane value. So Cleveland
6'5" WAR guy. Woo.
Yeah.
6.5 WAR, switch hitter. He hit 39 homers and stole 41 bases as a 31-year-old.
That's incredible.
Which is just crazy. He was 5th in the MVP voting last year and has been, I don't think he's ever been MVP, but he's been named, talked about in the MVP race multiple times. Just he's very consistent, been around a long time.
Ohtani having the season he had last season with a 55 or something just stupid and will never happen again. Jose Ramirez's 39-41 was like a blip. And it would have been like the biggest news in the world. He's 1 homer shy of 40-40. Remember when Jose Canseco and Barry Bonds, these were like headline news stuff, except Ohtani just took all the air out of his sails, man. It was like nothing left for Jose. And he's just, dude, I'm 31. What's up? I'm a switch hitting third baseman for Cleveland.
Right.
And I get no love.
Right.
And I'm only
No
making
love
19
for,
mil.
Nearly 40-40.
Yep. That's
Yeah,
crazy,
so that's
man.
the
Right.
extremely bright spot in their lineup. He'll hit third. I'm very confident all year long.
Yep.
Fourth, hitting cleanup, is a new addition to the Indians this year.
What's old is new again.
What's old is new.
Right.
Carlos Santana, who will turn 39 on April 8th, I believe it was.
Oh my God.
39-year-old everyday first baseman.
That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
What could go wrong there?
What could go wrong? I looked at old Carlos's numbers, and the decline has begun
2
and
years ago.
continued. Yeah. So
He's been riding this slope for a while, man. He's on a black double diamond. He's slaloming.
I think the
2019,
Royals.
he had a really
the Royals probably
good
got
year.
their best. Royals probably got the best last year of him, right?
2019, he had a very solid year, and then since then it's been just steady decline, low batting average. He still gets on base. He still walks a lot.
He does
Which is-
walk a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, which is one of the
Which
reasons
Lou,
we
who's
like
not
him.
here tonight, would be super excited about. He
And he's
loves
such
a- Totally.
Carlos Santana walk.
He's such a threat on the base paths, too. So once he gets
Right.
on, you know he's going station to station. Oh, my
He is.
gosh.
Dude, you gotta
He's
have
still-
you need liquid plumber to get this dude off the bases.
If he was playing Strato, he's like, run 1 to 3. Like, that'll get him to first base. Like, ugh. He walks because he doesn't want to, like, get a hit. It's too much effort.
He doesn't want
He
to have
needs
to run.
time to get to first.
He's I think he hit about 30 home runs in 2019, and since then it's been 19 to 23 pretty consistently for the last 4 years anyway. So noticeable power dip, noticeable batting average dip. He's almost 39, so
Yeah.
What's a brother to do, man? I'm
Yeah.
39.
so he's in Cleveland for a 1-year deal, $12 million, which is probably about right, maybe a little overpaying for a 39-year-old, but
Yeah,
it is what it is. They're looking for something in the middle of the lineup to replace what they've lost.
I think
They're
Kyle,
trying to get. Go ahead.
Kyle Manzardo needs to watch out and not get shanked being a full-time DH with Carlos in the lineup saying, bro, that's my spot, man. I see you standing over there in the clubhouse the whole game, and that's where I stand. I don't want to be on this first base bag. It's dangerous. I'm
You're
old.
right.
I'm going to pull
15
something.
years younger than me. Get on the bases
Can
or get out there with your ball.
24-year-old Manzardo not play first? I mean, come
Right.
That's what
on.
I'm saying. Can you not catch the ball? I mean, that's kind of half the battle at first base. Just
not
put the glove
I'm not
out.
saying it's an easy position. I'm just saying that, like, of the positions,
Yeah.
If you can take 2 steps to your left or 2 steps to your right and catch the ball, you're pretty well set over there at first base.
right?
All right. Well, who's protecting old Carlos in the lineup?
So fifth in the lineup is an interesting dude. I didn't know much about Lane Thomas, but he's their center fielder, 29. He's been around a bit.
Thomas. That sounds
getting paid
familiar.
$7.8 million and batted a mere Halsley 209 last year.
That's pretty good.
So he had a mixed season. He played half of the year for Washington and then got traded to Cleveland.
I know where I bought furniture from this guy. That's right.
Oh, he handed me my Taco Bell last night. That's where Lane Thomas is from. Well, the other stats seem pretty good. The 15 homers and 32
Yeah.
RBIs. That's surprisingly good for a 209 guy.
Right. So he did put together 32 stolen bases
He can
over
run.
the course of the year. So he can run a bit. Center fielder, you'd expect him to cover some ground, right? So
I mean, not
think he
behind
did have a
Carlos
down-
Santana. He's getting all
Right.
singles if he's on base ahead of him. Like, I'm not going to third, bro. There's no doubles in this book. You better hit it out.
Why did Lane Thomas only have singles and home runs last year?
That's all coming
four,
together.
4 doubles. What's that?
That's 420 feet off the wall. And Carlos has pulled up to second, easily in with the one base advance. All right, we digress.
Hitting 6th, or predicted to hit 6th. Will Brennan, who's the right fielder,
Who
right
the
fielder.
hell are these guys? Man, they've fallen off the map since last year.
This really is out of Major League.
It really is. So I noticed too. I think we'll hear more about this in the spring as we go along here, but there's a couple different positions here toward the bottom of the lineup that are predicted to be platoon situations, and this is one of them. So Will Brennan is a lefty hitter, so probably will play most of the time against right-hand pitching. Likely going to platoon with Johnsky Noel, who is a 22-year-old who had 67 games with the club last season, had 13 homers in 67 games, so showed some pop.
Is that primarily just off lefties, or did it have that broken down?
That's what it sounds like. I didn't look at the splits for his homers, but
okay.
I think because he's 22 and because this other guy is, I'm presuming, a better fielder than Noel, I think that's why they're going to try at least to platoon them.
Boy, these are his household names. Who's next?
Seventh in the order is the second baseman, one of three players that are kind of jockeying for that position here out of spring training. The most likely is Angel Martinez, a 23-year-old switch hitter.
Angel Martinez, he's the freaking worst umpire I've ever seen in my life.
I thought he was
Angel Hernandez.
He's not going to be good either, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
so the big loss, one of the reasons the Indians and the Guardians are taking a hit. That's the second time I got the Dexter disease.
Right.
They took a big hit when they traded Andres Jimenez to Toronto.
yeah.
So he was their Gold Glover at second last year. Like I think Lewis pointed out when we did the Toronto episode, it was a big surprise to everybody that the Guardians suddenly traded this guy. And so I think they're scrambling a bit to try to replace him. So second base is kind of a toss-up here during spring training.
Mm-hmm.
So Angel or Angel, whoever, Martinez is the most likely guy to start. And I think that's just because he's the oldest, been around a little bit longer. So he's not exactly a stud with the bat, but he is a switch hitter. He's got a decent glove. The other potential second baseman, Travis Bazzana, who was the number one overall pick in 24.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to be – he could, but he's apparently he was kind of like a Paul Skeens pick, is Travis Bazzana and everybody else last season.
Yeah.
So he is uber talented, but he's only played like half of a professional season too.
Right. So they're saying right now, very unlikely that he makes the club or sees any time in the majors in 25.
Yeah.
But that's his spot in the future. He needs a little bit of seasoning in AA, AAA.
But that being said, he could rope 450 and be up in May.
Right. So he's a name to watch a little bit this spring. If he comes out lighting it up, he may accidentally make the club, and he may accidentally get some time at second base because they really don't have somebody that's locked into that position.
It's not going to be too hard to bump Angel Martinez off the keystone.
No.
Third guy who early when I started my research, they had Juan Brito listed as the second baseman.
I love burritos.
Yeah, Juan Burrito.
They've kind of hedged their
for
bets
me.
on that a little bit.
Dos Equis with it. All right, whatever.
I have not heard of any of these guys.
No.
No.
So Juan Brito has been in the majors for several years.
This is Juan Burrito.
Stop calling him a burrito, man.
Dos burritos.
Street tacos up next.
Juan
Street taco.
Burrito. Dos burrito.
So,
And Jorge Enchilada.
so Street Taco had 21 homers and 84 RBIs in the minors last year.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
he's showing, I think that was kind of an anomaly if you look at his other minor league seasons, but he's also getting older, right? He's only 22 last year when he did this. So when he's a 20-year-old and a 21-year-old, maybe he's kind of figured it out. He hit much better last year in the minors. Another guy that was listed as a solid fielder, but again, isn't probably going to step in and immediately be a Gold Glover or anything. The Guardians are just kind of scrambling right now for to fill their second base spot. It sounds like it's really up in the air the next few weeks as they go through spring ball. So,
yeah, man, that is not the same lineup from last season.
Well, they have. I was counting. They have 5 guys with a sub 300 OBP.
Yes.
Starting lineup.
Yeah,
that is not bode well for putting pressure on the other team.
The next such candidate is Bo Naylor, their catcher, who contributed a massive .7 WAR and 201 average last year.
2-0. He's above Mendoza. That Mendoza.
I mean, he doesn't walk,
on base.
but at least he doesn't get any hits.
Right. He doesn't walk or hit.
Don't worry, I won't hit any homers either.
Right.
All right. 13 for a year.
Is this one of the Naylor brothers?
It is.
Yes.
So brother Josh was like the offense last year. Him and Jose.
So brother Josh got traded to Arizona.
Yeah, which you'll hear. We're gonna be doing in Arizona coming up in a couple episodes too.
Yeah.
But
so more to come on him. But they stuck with Bo, their 201 hitting catcher.
This is the wrong pick.
We're not even to the pitching yet, and I'm already leaning to the under on this lineup.
Right.
Yeah, this screams under. Just give it a chance because there is a little bit of life in the pitching staff, but we'll get there.
Well, if I remember, they had an incredible group of relievers last year, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's usually their strong
bright
suit.
spot.
All right, let's go through the starters, though, and then the relievers, and then we'll...
Brian, to round out the lineup, Brian Rocchio, a 24-year-old shortstop, 206 hitter last year, 8 home runs. He's hitting 9th for a reason. The one guy that's a bright spot that they should get back at some point this year is David Fry. I didn't write his age down, but he's another young guy, 23, 24, I think. He was their DH last year, 356 OBP, 804 OPS, 14 homers. He had elbow surgery in October, so he's going to be out a bit. He was an all-star last year as well.
Really?
So between Ramirez, David Fry, and Stephen Kwan, and a couple of their relievers here that we'll talk about, they did have some.
David Fry was an all-star?
Yep.
Well, I would have lost a bet on that.
For sure, right?
Yes.
Man.
I don't know that he may not have even played. I don't remember him getting into the game, but
it's all right, man. He got the
nod.
Butt ugly jersey.
That's right.
From last
All
year.
right, so enough about the lineup. That's it's not very inspiring.
There it is. Woof.
After you get past Kwan and Ramirez and maybe Lane Thomas and Santana, the bottom 4 in that lineup are just going to be rough, to say the least. So staff-wise, they really have one proven starter, and by proven, I'm just saying from last year. He's only 26, but he should continue to get better and better. That's Tanner Bybee. 2.6 WAR as a starting pitcher last year, 173 innings, 187 strikeouts. So pretty solid
good
there. 112 WHIP.
Yeah.
And more than a 4-to-1 K to walk ratio, which I know Dexter appreciates.
Yep. That's legit.
Yep. So legit number 1, 3.47 ERA last year. I didn't mention that, but very solid all the way around. 26 years old, should continue to get better and better. Ben Lively is the number 2. Was obtained in a trade.
That's not that good.
This feels number 4-ish.
Well, yeah. We'll get to all their number 5s here in a minute. He's a 33-year-old, 1.5 WAR last year. Doesn't strike out a ton of people. WHIP very average, 125. I noticed that he pitched 1 inning and 1 inning only for the Royals in 2019.
Woohoo! He's an alum.
Gave up 3 hits, including a homer, 27 ERA.
Wow.
Then he bounced to Japan for a couple
Royals
years.
tend to get the best out of those relievers, that's for sure.
He's a total wild card. He did have 9 quality starts last year and his lowest career ERA. So I think that's what the Guardians saw, is maybe taking a bit of a flyer. Yeah, pretty pretty high risk in my opinion. The biggest loss is Shane Bieber. I think it's Bieber.
Shane Bieber fever.
Baby, oh,
Yeah, he's getting paid.
Baby, oh.
Oh, you're nailing it.
He's
Just another verse.
keep it going. So Shane Bieber's getting paid $10 million to rehab from Tommy John surgery this year.
Oh,
that hurts.
that is massive. That is a huge difference for them, for sure.
He's
Yes.
good, man. There's no joke about him. Shane Bieber's good when he's on and he's healthy. That's
Yeah.
a
Right.
big loss.
So that's a huge dent in the starting rotation. 3, 4, and 5 are just a toss-up. They're all pretty average. Gavin Williams, Tristan McKenzie, and then Luis Ortiz, who they were traded for from Pittsburgh.
God, how didn't they have like
They're all just like,
Carrasco? Did they have Carrasco last year?
So-
What happened to Carrasco?
yeah, Carrasco got picked up by the Yankees after he became a free agent.
Mm,
He had a terrible year last year.
Yeah.
terrible.
Okay.
Well, and so Tristan McKenzie, I know you got the note on there too, but he was like a top prospect coming out. So former
Totally.
first round pick.
That's
He's only
right.
26.
Bro's
And-
all knees and elbows, man. He is just
It is.
Right.
lanky, wiry dude.
Yeah, I didn't write it down, but he's 6'5", I think, or 6'6".
Yeah.
He's
But they
a big,
put-
tall, skinny dude.
He put it together
6'6",
for
like
a full
buck
season.
05.
Yeah.
But 2022 he was
22
awesome.
Yeah.
That's the year you're talking about, Dex. He had 191 innings, 190 Ks, 18 quality starts that
That's
year,
insane.
under a 1 WHIP. And then ever since then, he's averaged 1.5 WHIP.
Not
So
so great.
Fell
Ouch.
apart and walks way too many guys. Probably overthrowing to some degree. That's usually, especially if you've had it in the past and you suddenly lose it, it's usually a sign that you're trying to overthrow
Yeah,
or that you've
something's
been
up.
injured or something. So he's penciled in as a starter. It's a big risk, but he has shown flashes of brilliance in the past, so they could have decided they're going to try to fix him,
Yeah, I don't even know what's wrong with him. Kind of
Yeah,
looking through
I
here.
mean, he is one of those guys that could bounce back. He's got the ability.
Yeah, he's got all the
So-
talent in the world.
I mean, if he comes through and looks better than your but I mean, you really need Bieber, Bybee, and Tristan McKenzie at his best to have a shot here. It feels
And
like
Luis Ortiz is not horrible.
no,
he
he's
had-
not.
Decent numbers. He's really low on strikeouts. So 107 strikeouts in 135 innings is not great for a starting pitcher.
No,
But good whip numbers, good ERA.
Yeah. There's nothing horrible with a pitch to contact guy. I mean, they're not great for fantasy, but real life, especially when they had
Yeah.
gold gloves behind them. So when you had Jimenez back there that they don't have anymore.
Yeah.
And-
Stephen Kwan.
Yeah. I mean, when you have defense
Outfielder.
behind, pitch to contact guys aren't the worst.
Right.
But
Usually end up with piling up more innings because they have a lower
Exactly.
pitch count and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
that's
right.
right.
They can eat innings for you for sure.
right.
That is.
So anyway, a lot of question marks there. If somebody struggles big time, they did sign Jacob Junis to a
Huh.
1-year deal. He's probably going to be long relief, but he has started.
Old Jacob Junis, the guy, the
Yeah.
promise who never was.
yeah.
Like, always gonna bust through this year. That guy just never quite could do it.
That's a outside flyer possibility, maybe that he would step in and be a 4 or 5 starter if one of those other guys just completely struggles.
Yeah,
or
he could definitely jump in and start for
So
sure.
he's their
done
backup
it.
plan.
backup
I can't
plan.
believe he's
Jake
32
Junis.
already.
Crazy.
So here's the bright spot: is the Guardians pen has a bunch of studs in it.
They were, I think, number 1 in ERA in the majors last year.
Number 1 bullpen, I think, last year. I think you're right.
I know
led
you-
by
You said
Emmanuel
Milwaukee was a
Clase.
good one too last year. I think they're right up there with them.
Milwaukee was 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know that for a fact. I think Cleveland may have been the number 1.
I think they were, if I remember
Yeah, they are
correctly.
gross.
If you,
They're
if
good.
you look at these first 3, you can see why. Emmanuel Clase is their closer.
Woo!
He had kind of a rough 23, where he had 12 blown saves in 2023.
Yeah,
Only 3 blown saves last year and 47 saves.
that's
So
awesome.
That's almost unhittable. A .61 ERA, guys. Like,
Ugh.
filthy.
Wow. That was better
And
than Eckersley when he did win a Cy Young.
All right.
6.6 Ks per walk.
Jeez.
That
Which is just
dumb.
And 4.4 WAR for a relief pitcher.
woo.
That's
And
unbelievable.
was third in the AL Cy Young vote as a relief pitcher.
Wow.
Man,
Like,
it feels like you
just-
should have won it with those stats. Holy cow.
Right. Yeah.
Of course, he was going against Scooble.
Right.
So
Scooble, and then Lugo, and then Clase here, and then our buddy Cole Reagans also.
Oh, yeah.
So he was kind of sandwiched between the Royal starters
right.
in the Cy Young vote last year.
That's crazy.
So that's who's leading their bullpen, right? So if they can get through 5 innings from their starters,
That's
they've got
it.
a decent chance at putting together a game here. So the
No,
other
for
bright
sure.
spot is 25-year-old Cade Smith, who was a rookie last year and was 9th in the Cy Young vote.
Wow.
So Cleveland Guardians, 2 relief pitchers in the Cy Young vote.
That's
last year.
crazy, man. I don't remember ever hearing about that. I mean, I knew their bullpen was good. I didn't realize they were
that
top
good.
10 Cy
Yeah.
Young good.
So Clase 74 innings. This Cade Smith guy 75 innings last season. 103 strikeouts in 75 innings.
Wow.
0.9 WHIP. 6.1 Ks per walk. Under a 2 ERA. Like 8th and 9th inning are taken care of, right?
Yeah. This is like 2015 Royals stuff here.
So yep. I'll get there because they're third. They have a third guy.
Wow.
Hunter Gaddis is also in their pen. Also 26.
Wow.
Also a 2+, 2.6 WAR. Also a sub 2 ERA. 0.76 WHIP. 4.7 Ks per walk. Like just 3 lights out guys. And that was my note below, Chiz, is that it's very similar to the Royals HDH pin.
Totally.
They had Herrera and Wade Davis and Greg Holland.
I mean, that's just get to the 7th and you're
Yeah, you're in a
over
good
kind of
position at
stuff.
that point.
Right.
Because, man, you aren't getting base runners anymore.
Right.
These guys, and they actually added a couple of relievers, which I don't really know why. They definitely could have used starting pitching more than
It might have just been all
shoring
they
up
could
their
get.
pen.
They're probably
Maybe
getting outbid.
they're just gonna piece together 9 innings out of relievers.
they can get 3 innings out of their starters.
Well, I
Maybe
mean,
that's
I haven't
their
seen
plan.
whips that low in a bullpen. I mean,
Yeah,
0.65,
multiple dudes.
3 of them.
0.76, 0.90. That's crazy.
Right.
Man,
And three dudes that are contributing nearly 10 on WAR.
The question
Between the
is,
three.
are they gonna have any leads to get to these guys?
yeah, there is that.
Yep.
Because, like, if not, you could see this organization doing a major pump and dump, right? Where it's like, we got arms for your bullpen here come trade deadline time, boys.
That's right.
Like,
Yeah, this easily could fall apart where they're
But that
Dropping
could
parts.
be a gift, though. I mean, there's a lot of teams that do that, and they just kind of hope. Like, the best case, they're in the playoff hunt themselves and they don't have to worry about anything. Worst case, you get some trade chips and get to improve for the next season.
that's right.
yeah,
So
that's right.
I'm not really upset about it. I mean, something the Royals did forever.
I did not mention. So there's another guy in the mix here. Jonathan Rodriguez is another prospect. I mentioned Johnsky, Noel, and Travis Bazana, and Juan Rito, not Burrito.
Juan,
But
not Dos Burritos.
Only one.
Juan
Burrito.
Burrito.
Uno burrito.
So Jonathan Rodriguez is another 22-year-old middle infielder, career minor league guy so far. 25 homers, 25 or more homers in the minors the last 2 years.
Out of middle infielder, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what you're looking
So
for there.
he's another guy that could challenge for some second base playing time. So anyway,
Crazy.
So
like
fantasy
I
wise,
mentioned earlier, yeah, don't take a second base from the Guardians.
Yeah, right.
Well,
and like really on this whole team, fantasy wise, you basically got Bybee, right? You got their Clase,
Yep.
and then
Class A and
Quan
Cade Smith. I mean, you may
and
not
Cade
get
Smith.
saves, but
Well, also
103
depends on
strikeouts.
sometimes the leagues, if you can have the middle relievers, if you just need RPs, they rack up innings and good. I mean, that 12K per nine, you could do worse than
Yeah.
having those guys fill in those positions. So, plus if anything
Right.
happens
Yeah.
at Class A, they looks like they'd be first up. I do want to mention one other guy. So when you were saying they added to the bullpen, the guy they added is Paul. I think it's Seawald. I think it's Sewell though,
Yep.
but he's a former closer for both Seattle and the Diamondbacks, and he was
that's
hurt
right.
last year, and he was kind of lights out at the beginning, all the way until the All-Star break. And then he had a couple bad outings, and then he got hurt, and his neck was messed up or something. But before that, I think he had like 12 straight saves and had like a .5 ERA. So he's definitely got some nasty stuff when he's on. I mean, he's been counted on to be the closer for 3 straight seasons for teams. And now that's their fourth guy in the freaking bullpen. I mean, that's strength on strength right there. So I imagine they'll use him as a high leverage guy.
You might be right. I mean, they might seriously just be looking to get through 5 innings and then just turn it over to these guys twice a week, 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And just let them go nuts for an inning at a time because they are very solid in the pen.
Yeah, that's real good.
So how you feel when you're looking overall, Prue? You got 82.5. That is firmly at 500. So do you feel like this was a 92 win team last year? Now, granted, they lost a lot, especially in the starting pitching.
Yeah, there's just a lot of wild cards. I don't know what to make of this team. I definitely would not lock any bet over or under. I think I would lean under right now because the age of Santana scares me. If that's their solution is to bring in a 39-year-old
clean up
to hit cleanup, and then 3 other guys in their lineup have never played in the majors before. They're still not sure what they're doing with their second baseman. They got 3 and really 3.5 starters that are wild cards that could be lights out. Some starts they could give up 7 runs in 3 innings type starts too. So just a lot of ifs,
I'm not seeing it because you can't predict 32-year-old Jose Ramirez is going to repeat a 40-40 season.
Right.
He's going to need to go 50-50 for them to compete, in my opinion. It's going to go down. He's going to go down. He doesn't have as much protection in the lineup. He doesn't have Josh Naylor anymore hitting behind him. He now has old man Carlos. And then you got Stephen Kwan. He's really good. Jose Ramirez, obviously a stud. No one else in that lineup puts an ounce of trepidation or fear into you.
No.
And they're all slap hitters at best. I mean, if you add up everyone else in the lineup's homers, you don't get to Jose Ramirez from last year. Add them all up, you don't get there.
Right.
So that is a scary thing that they're just going to walk them. I think Jose Ramirez gets his walk rate up.
I think you're right. And if you look at what they lost as starting pitching, Carlos Carrasco, Alex Cobb, who was very good last year, and Shane Bieber. I mean, when you lose 3 starting pitchers who were, I know Carrasco had a little bit of a rough year last year, but he's still talented starting pitcher. Like, that's tough to replace.
Well, any final takes on Cleveland before we wrap this up, Prue?
Nope, it's kind of a shame because they were a really good team last year. I think they were a bit over their skis at winning 92 games, but 10-game slide is a little bit hard to decide. Is it going to be a 12-game slide or is it going to be an 8-game slide? Versus last year's kind of maybe a little bit lucky 92 wins.
It's good for the Royals though.
It does.
Yeah, it tightens up the race even more.
Tightens up the race.
Makes it a 4-team race in the Central. So we'll see what happens. I would lean a little under. But
yeah, I agree.
Well, that works. Well, thank you very much for the rundown on the Believe Land Guardians. We will see how it pans out during the regular season, but the shrewdness take is don't get your hopes up. It sounds like it's where we're at. So in the meantime, we'll see you on the next show. Stay shrewd, everybody.